Chapter 1: An Early History of the Welfare State. Up until the Civil War, the American government took a hands off approach, or no responsibility, for the welfare of its citizens. However, with many men being disfigured from war wounds and no way to feed themselves, that led to the development of veterans' benefits and soldiers' homes, which set the stage for the idea of government responsibility for the well being of its citizens. Before then, early human services in the United States were primarily provided by private organizations such as churches, charities, and mutual aid societies. Indoor versus outdoor relief. The 1800s saw the growth of indoor and outdoor relief, with indoor relief requiring recipients to live in institutions like poorhouses and orphanages, while outdoor relief provided assistance without institutionalization. Unfortunately, many of the poorhouses, asylums, and orphanages were criticized for their harsh conditions and the stigma that was imposed on its recipients. The 1800s saw the growth of the social gospel movement, which emphasized the role of religion in addressing social problems and led to the establishment of settlement houses that offered various services to poor urban communities. Father Michael McGivney noticed after the Great War that many of his parishioners, the husbands, had been killed in the Great War, leaving oftentimes very large Catholic families to starve and become homeless. Father McGivney put all the weight of the Knights of Columbus behind that and started a program that would offer assistance to widows of the Great War. We have not, as a country, always been nice to immigrants. We still aren't nice to immigrants. Oftentimes, people like the Irish, when they would immigrate into this country, they were told that they need not apply for work, or they were, if they were able to find any work, it was usually the worst jobs that no one else would do, such as the building of the Empire State Building. However, in true American fashion, those who we do not hold in high esteem in this country are always offered the opportunity to fight and die for us. As America industrialized, oftentimes people who were the wealthy fat cats of industry, such as the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, and many others, they would put the profit over the welfare of their workers. Unfortunately, seeing as how capitalists, wealthy capitalists, left unchecked, would end up putting immigrants and children even in dangerous situations, which led in time to child labor laws and the Chinese Protection Act. However, some of the best work is that provided by the citizens of this country, such as the Black Panther Party that offered in 1969 the free breakfast program, which was feeding 20,000 hungry black children per week. It wasn't until Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal, which was inspired as a need for American infrastructure was growing, and the result of millions and millions of Americans being out of work due to the Great Depression. This was a innovative idea because it ended up providing a service for America as a whole, which that infrastructure, such as the Hoover Dam and many of our highways, were still in use today. And it enabled Americans, able bodied Americans, to make a living and feed themselves when so many were starving. In 1935, the Social Security Act established a federal safety net for vulnerable populations. This included the elderly, the unemployed, and dependent children. However, as we know, the Social Security Act is not so secure, with many on the right wanting to abolish it altogether, and we find ourselves at times in a deficit for paying out benefits. But ultimately, who is responsible? We are. We are, as citizens of this country, responsible not just for ensuring that the politicians are enacting positive policies to help with social change, but for us to mobilize, talk about it, and at times become activists, citizen activists,